I've got another wrap. It's on a Model 3 this time in this deep passion gloss color from Avery Dennison. It's a beautiful color, especially out in the sun. There's a lot of sparkle to it. But today I'm going to show you the wrap, but I'm also going to show you how I cut this material up. And I'm going to give you my thought process on why you need to do things a certain way. I got my table laid out and I'm going to show you everything today. So what you need is a table, of course the vinyl, and that's just on a rack that I built. If you can wrap a car, you can make something to hold this material. It's a 60-foot roll, so you just need to hold it up on both ends. But I have my sheet here, but also you need a marker, you need a cutter, a vinyl cutter, you need some masking tape and a tape measure. And I have all the tape laid up here because I'm going to roll up the film, kind of like what this is, and label everything. And that's what goes off of this. This is my Model 3 paper. I have ones for the Model S and the Model Y and everything, but this is the Model 3. Try to put this on screen for you, but it's broken down in the bumper, the hood, the fender, the front door, the rear door, the quarter panel, which is a weird one. Trunk piece this is the lower trunk where the license plate goes, and the top rails. And that's all you need. But always buy a full roll. This is a 75-foot roll of vinyl. You know, you have these pieces here, but what if you make a mistake? On that side piece, the quarter panel, it starts where the charger is and it goes underneath both doors. That is a very large piece. If you screw up on that piece, you have to get that whole piece back, and you might not have enough if you don't do things right. So always buy the full 75-foot if you're going to do this yourself. If you're going to buy the roll for somebody else to wrap for you, buy the 75-foot roll. Plus, if you don't use the material, you have the extra material, so just in case someone bumps into you in the bumper or whatever, you can replace that piece. Or if there's a defect in the material, you can replace that piece. Let me go over the list of what the pieces are and explain what they are. All right, of course, the hood is self-explanatory. It's 55 by 65 inches. The fenders are 56 long by 32 inches tall. The front doors are really cool because they're 30 inches tall and this vinyl is 60 inches tall. So you can get those out of there. And then you have the rear doors 50 by 34, and I'm gonna show you this. I'm kind of explain it on the car. And then the quarter panel is 11 foot long. The rear quarter is 11 foot long. And let me show you that. Let me show you why. I got the car here. It's on a Model 3. Oh my God, a bird already shit on here. Are you serious? I just washed this thing. Oh my gosh. Seriously? I just washed this thing. Starting right after the bird poop. This piece starts here and goes underneath the door all the way to the front. This is the only Tesla that does this. There's a seam right here for the Model S, and then you do that rocker panel in one separate piece, but this is the only one that does this. The Model Y is plastic underneath there, so it's a little easier to do. So what you want to do is this material, most material is directional, and you want to treat it as directional film. And what that means is there's a grain to it, almost like wood. You don't want to put the wood grain going this way and then the doors, the wood grain going this way. You want everything to match, because as you're walking down, you don't want basically, you know how when you see a gray car on the road that's been painted, you can tell which panel's been painted? That's kind of what you'll see with certain vinyls. Not every vinyl's like that, but a lot of them are. So you want to get in the habit of doing it this way with the grain. When we cut this piece, since the piece is 60 inches tall from here to the bottom, 5 foot, lay out a piece 11 foot long, and then as we cut this shape out of it, we can get this door out of it, this door out of it, but we're going to save some material by getting these two doors out of one full piece, and we're going to get the door out of it and the fender out of this. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me, and that's more important than it making sense to you. Well, for the customer, it makes more sense. What's really cool about the bumper is I'm going to cut a piece 10 foot long, so that's the length of my table, and then I'm going to cut it right in half, so 30 inches. 30 inches will get the front bumper, and 30 inches will get the second bumper. So one 10-foot piece of material will get both bumpers out of it, and that's what we're going to start with. This table is 10 foot long. And what I've done on the side here, instead of getting the tape measure out every single time, I've marked 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, and then also the intervals, like 33 inches, 40 inches, 55 inches. So I know exactly where things are on the side. I can easily cut. Also right here, this is center, so 30 inches here and there. There's 3 foot, 40 inches. I already have things marked, plus the material has a pattern to it. So you want to keep the pattern all the same. That way you know, well, that way's up all the time. We're going to have all the words facing up every time we do this material. We got to keep that in mind. So this is going to be directional that way. So for the front bumper, this is all the way 10 foot I know is right here. So I'm just going to take my cutter here and slice it there. I need both hands, so I'm going to put you on the tripod. Down here, half is right here, so it's right in the middle of both of these lines. So you're just going to go right down the middle, all the way down. And then you just roll this up. Grab your masking tape, write it down. Bumper. And then you just stack those somewhere nice. I'm going to stack them up over here out of the way once I have them all done. But let me tell you about the table here. All this is some foam. It's a 3/4 inch foam, a bunch of masking tape with just a thick paper on top. This is what you would lay down on a floor if you're doing some remodeling and things like that. You don't want scratches. This is the same type of material. It's just rolled out, taped all together. So this will fold up completely. And then when I'm not using it, it actually goes on the wall here. But it's really nice to have a nice flat 5 foot wide by 10 foot long table to do all my cuts on. It makes it so much easier. All right, I figured I'd pull my best friend's Porsche outside and then pull his Model 3 inside. And of course, when I'm done doing this, I can pull our Model X inside, keep the 2 Teslas inside tonight, and sorry, Porsche, you're gonna be outside tonight. And for the rest of the week, because this car is gonna be taking up the whole garage, all 3 bays for the week. That thing will have to sit outside too. And I'll show you that eventually, but I gotta wait for a little bit. Also bring the car in so we don't get any more of this. So if you haven't figured out yet, I'm not wrapping the car today. I washed it today, getting it prepped. Well, I'm actually prepping it tomorrow. I'm gonna wipe it down, but get all the badges off, get that ready, put it up on the lift right here tomorrow. But I washed it so it can dry overnight. Today's Sunday. He just dropped it off at noon today, and he's not coming back till next Sunday, so I have a long time to do this. All right, so what I've done is I'm starting to lay out the rear quarter panel, and this is actually the passenger side because I'm starting with the big half over here because the roll is on that side. Once I cut this out, I can actually lay this onto another roll face down, and then I can cut that out reverse. So what I have here is the big section. This is facing up because we have the logos there. So this is the quarter panel. The wheel well will be here. This will all be cut out. So this will come down, and this is where the door is. This is where the rear door is. I'm going to cut this section out for the rear door, and then I have a lot of material left over here. So if you're not doing a pillar delete like I'm doing, you can use this section for the top rail of the car, the top rail there. But I'm not doing that, so there's just a little bit extra here. Now this bleeds into where the fender is going to go. So here I only have 10 foot here. I'm gonna need to pull a little bit more off of here. So I'm gonna roll this, let this hang over, and then finish the area so I can just cut this off, get the fender out, get this rear door out, and then I can cut and roll all this up and label it, put it over there in the corner, and move on to the next one. So it takes a little bit of time to map things out. It's a little easier with the Model Y, and actually it's easier with all of them. The 3 is the only issue with that rear quarter panel. And I've written on this with dry erase marker. It's not going to go through, but I've written it out with permanent marker and it still doesn't go through. Tomorrow is the fun day when we get everything ready to go and we start laying stickers onto the car. So I'm all finished with it. Let me show you some detailed shots of it. It looks great. I think this color looks amazing on the Model 3. Actually, it looks good on all the cars. The only car I haven't done it on is a Model S, and I think it would look good on that too. Very classy color. Looks great on the Model 3. Drove all the way from Atlanta for me to wrap it. Looks so good. That black front bumper.